Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on Maya Angelou's 40th birthday. Black History Month Facts. Camera icon photo credit, Alketron. It may not be entirely surprising that Martin Luther King Jr. and Maya Angelou became friends during the Civil Rights era. Two prominent voices in the Civil Rights movement, their paths crossed when Angelou was the coordinator for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and King paid the group a visit. In one of her autobiographies, she recalls MLK being shorter and younger than she expected, but also said that he was friendly and constantly cracking jokes. When King died on Angelou's birthday, the writer was devastated. She stopped celebrating her birthday for many years following his death and sent flowers to King's widow, Coretta Scott King, for more than 30 years, until Coretta died in 2006. Billie Holiday's famous Strange Fruit was originally a poem written by a school teacher. In 1936, Lewis Allen published an anti-lynching poem called Strange Fruit in the Teacher Union magazine. Lewis Allen was a pseudonym for Abel Meeropol, a Jewish school teacher from the Bronx. At the height of American lynchings, there were as many as 1,953 people killed by lynching a year. During the late 1800s and early 1900s, lynching had hit a peak, encouraged by the Jim Crow era, Reconstruction, and the Great Migration of black Southern workers to northern cities. Meeropol eventually set the poem to music. A few younger artists had picked up the song before, but it was Holiday who ultimately made it famous. She sang and recorded a version in 1939 that was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Holiday and Meeropol both were met with high praise. Strange Fruit is one of the most iconic songs of the civil rights movement and retains its power to this day, unbought and unbossed. Those words ring loudly as a mere speck of Shirley Chisholm's legacy. Chisholm, born and raised in Brooklyn, became the first black woman elected to Congress in 1968. After 4 years as the New York representative for the 12th Congressional District, Chisholm announced her run for the presidency. In that moment, she became the first black candidate for president from a major party, and the first female candidate to run for the Democratic Party's nomination. Chisholm's life was endangered as she vied for our nation's highest office. The representative won a total of 28 delegates during her run. After stepping down from Congress, Chisholm taught at Mount Holyoke and Spelman College, both all-women colleges. In 2015, she was awarded a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama. In 2020, a statue of Chisholm is scheduled to be erected in Brooklyn's Prospect Park. Madam C.J. Walker was an African-American entrepreneur who became America's first female self-made millionaire. Born in 1867 to former slaves on a Louisiana cotton plantation, Madam Walker rose in power to become America's first female self-made millionaire. She did so through the creation of the Madam C.J. Walker Company. Headquartered in Indianapolis, Indiana, her company was a cosmetics manufacturer that specialized in beauty and hair care products for African American women. Walker's business prowess was matched only by her philanthropy and activism. She helped establish a YMCA in the black community of Indianapolis and contributed funds to the Tuskegee Institute. Upon moving to New York, she joined the NAACP, donated generously to the NAACP's anti-lynching fund, and commissioned the first black architect in New York City to build Villa Lawaro, her home on the Hudson, where great minds such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington gathered to discuss social matters important to the African American community. By the time of her death in 1919, she was known not only as a remarkably successful African American business owner, but one of America's most successful entrepreneurs of all time. Hattie McDaniel, the first African American to win an Oscar, wasn't allowed to attend Gone with the Wind's national premiere. Black History Month Facts. Camera icon photo credit, Wikimedia Commons. Hattie McDaniel was able to carve out a place for herself in Hollywood despite rampant racism and a consignment to bit parts. She paved the way for many African American women, but not without her fair share of obstacles. Her performance as Mammy in Gone with the Wind won her Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars that year. However, the national movie premiere was in Atlanta. Because of Georgia's Jim Crow laws, she was prohibited from attending the event. Hattie went on to star in over 300 films, was inducted into the Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame in 2006, and was the first Oscar winner to appear on a postage stamp. Despite her ultimate success, her choices in roles were often criticized. The NAACP said Hollywood's roles for African Americans were narrowed to servants or characters whose main purpose was being comically slow and dim-witted. Hattie was criticized for settling for lesser roles than her white colleagues. Despite this, Hattie went on to have a stellar career. While most people today look back on the 1985 track as a cheesy supergroup relic of a different era, We Are the World sold over 20 million copies. The song swept across the world, raking in accolades and revenue and becoming the first single to ever be certified as multi-platinum. 3 Grammys, an American Music Award, and a People's Choice Award were bestowed upon the single, but most importantly it raised more than $63 million for aid in Africa and the United States. The idea for the single was originated by activist Harry Belafonte. The King of Calypso was a key contributor moving forward as well, responsible in part for bringing Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie on board to write the single. One of the song's 2 producers was legendary 28-time Grammy Award winner Quincy Jones. Among the singers on the track were soloists Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, Diana Ross, and Dionne Warwick, as well as chorus members like Smokey Robinson, the Pointer Sisters, and several of the Jackson siblings. Phyllis Wheatley was only 12 when she became the first female African-American author published. Black History Month Facts. Camera icon photo credit, Wikimedia Commons. Despite Phyllis Wheatley's fame, we know surprisingly little about her early life. She was taken from her home in Africa when she was 7 or 8, and sold to the Wheatley family in Boston. The family taught her to read and write, and encouraged her to write poetry as soon as they witnessed her talent for it. In 1773, Phyllis published her first poem, making her the first African American to be published. She was only 12 at the time.